Welcome. Today I've got Eleonora Levis with me, who's a former IB diploma graduate. Eleonora, would you like to tell us a few things about yourself?
Yes. So I finished the IB last year and now I'm finishing off my first year of university in London. And today I'm going to talk about my experiences and how I coped with stress and how I see things after a whole year has gone by from a different perspective.
So the IB diploma is very stressful because you've got such a big workload with coursework and exam prep. And tell me a bit about what did help and didn't help when you were going to a friend or to a teacher and you were under a lot of stress.
Okay, so when I was feeling really stressed, because I did struggle with a lot of stress, and I talked to a teacher or a friend who told me to calm down, don't worry, we'll be okay. It really didn't help me because it just bottled everything up and that made it worse. I needed someone to say to me, I'm also stressing, I'm also freaking out, I'm also panicking for this exam and I haven't figured out how to write this section of the essay, blah, blah, blah. So stressing out with someone and getting the stress out of me really helped me. And it didn't help me when someone said, it's okay, calm down, it will be okay. So to also link it to psychological research, people have found that in order to, when you identify with someone or when you sit down and talk to someone and they mirror your body language, the way that you sit, the way that you're talking to them, it really helps the other person to like you, to continue the conversation. And so because you want to feel understood by the other person, you want to identify with them. That's why you need someone who's also stressing about the same subject or about exams.
And what else can you do within your peer group and your friendship group to help each other relieve the tension from the stress and what you're going through?
So one thing that my year group really did, and I think other year groups for sure do it as well, is that they humor each other with how perhaps even badly they went on a test. And in particular, I remember that in higher level maths, which is considered a very difficult subject, the group of students was very small and they would always make jokes of how terribly they're doing and how hard it is and how they don't understand anything. So that also helps because it just makes things a little more fun. Another thing that really helped was if you go on Facebook and Instagram, there's a lot of memes that also make fun of situations. So how tired you are and how stressed you might feel, and sharing those with your friends just makes the other person feel like someone is there understanding, going through the same thing, and that's really important.
And what would you tell yourself now, 1 year later, looking back, if you would give some advice to your IB2 self?
First of all, I would definitely do the whole thing again because the IB was an amazing experience. It made me understand a lot about myself, and it also brought my friends and I together much more. What I would say to myself if I could go back would be not to stress so much about getting into my first choice. Obviously you have your goal, but you have your safety choice, which is also really good. And it doesn't matter if you don't get your first choice. So what? It really doesn't matter, because I have friends who went to their first choice and they're not happy, so they're changing their course, they're changing university. And I have people who are in their second choice and they've made friends and met people that they would have never met before if they went into their first choice. And it's just, you get different opportunities, but nothing is less, nothing is weaker. You still get into university, you still do what you love, you meet amazing people, and it doesn't matter if you don't get into your first university choice.
I love that you bring this issue up, because being ambitious, it can also have a downside of sometimes the ambition can be so great that you almost, because I also felt like it was like, if I don't get into my first choice, I'll be so upset, and then it's almost like you'll feel like I'll be a failure if I don't get into my first choice. And I went through that process as well, so I can relate. And I love that you're saying this, bringing up this issue of also preparing for the worst, what seems like the worst. Like, if I don't get into my first choice, so what? Right? I'm still gonna thrive, I'm still gonna grow, I'm still gonna learn, I'm still gonna be successful and develop myself no matter where I go. So it's like disattaching from the outcome, disattaching from the one location as if that's a solution to everything, still going for it ambitiously, but not feeling like we're a failure if we don't get that. Is there anything else that you'd like to add before we wrap up?
I believe that it's impossible not to stress, because obviously you're going to care about your grades, and you don't want to let your parents down, you don't want to let your teachers down, you don't want to let yourself down. So you need to stress to a certain extent. Just make sure it doesn't take over your thoughts, and just your thoughts, yes.